For almost 8 decades, Japan was known worldwide as a symbol of peace. Its military posture was deliberately restrained, and its defense forces were kept to a minimum. Today, however, that era is coming to an end. Clearly, this is the most significant defense industry agreement ever concluded between Japan and Australia. For the first time since the end of World War II, Tokyo has signed a defense contract of unprecedented scale. The agreement sent shockwaves across the region. It signaled that Japan has formally re-entered the global military arena. What pushed Tokyo to take such a decisive step? Why did a major Indo-Pacific partner choose Japanese weapon systems instead of American or European alternatives? And how will this landmark deal reshape the regional balance of power? After its total defeat in World War II, Japan confronted a grim reality. The nation was in ruins. Its economy lay shattered, and international confidence had all but disappeared due to wartime atrocities committed in China, on the Korean Peninsula, and throughout Southeast Asia. Under American occupation and strict oversight, Japan adopted a new constitution in 1947. Article 9 became the defining pillar of this new order. It formally renounced war as a tool for resolving international disputes and prohibited Japan from maintaining armed forces with offensive capabilities. In practice, Tokyo established the Japan Self-Defense Forces, carefully limiting their role to homeland defense and civilian protection in the event of attack. For decades, this peace clause functioned both as a legal constraint and a powerful diplomatic asset. It allowed Japan to rebuild its global reputation as a peaceful nation, while reassuring neighbors still burdened by memories of wartime aggression. In 1967, Japan adopted a policy that effectively banned arms exports. This decision excluded the country from the global defense market and enabled Tokyo to concentrate fully on economic recovery and growth. The result was remarkable. Without pursuing military expansion, Japan rapidly emerged as the world's second-largest economy. Throughout the Cold War, East Asia's security framework rested heavily on the US-Japan alliance. American forces were stationed across Japan, particularly in Okinawa, providing a nuclear umbrella against threats from the Soviet Union, China, and North Korea. This arrangement created a stable equilibrium. Japan maintained its pacifist image and capped defense spending at roughly 1% of GDP, while US forces ensured national security. That balance underpinned Japan's economic miracle in the latter half of the 20th century. After the Cold War, however, East Asia's security environment changed rapidly. China embarked on an unprecedented military modernization program, extending its reach into the East China Sea and South China Sea and directly challenging Japan's strategic interests. North Korea accelerated its nuclear and ballistic missile development, launching missiles that passed over Japanese territory and posed an immediate threat. At the same time, the United States began reallocating resources to other regions and pressed Tokyo to assume a greater share of the regional defense burden. In this new context, many viewed Japan as a security free rider, benefiting from US protection without contributing proportionately. Pressure from both domestic and international sources forced Tokyo to reconsider its approach. During the 1990s, the self-defense forces were deployed on United Nations peacekeeping missions, expanding beyond purely domestic defense. These developments gradually pushed Japan away from absolute pacifism toward a more proactive defense posture. A new doctrine began to emerge. It emphasized readiness to deploy forces and project deterrent power beyond Japan's borders when national interests were at stake. The decisive turning point came in 2014. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe lifted nearly half a century of restrictions on arms exports by introducing the 3 principles on the transfer of defense equipment and technology. This move fundamentally redefined Japan's post-war identity. Abe famously declared, "Peace cannot be preserved by wishful thinking alone. Japan must contribute proactively to peace and stability." His statement marked a clear shift. Japan would no longer remain a passive observer constrained by its pacifist clause. Instead, it would seek to uphold peace through strength, partnerships, and resolve. This was more than a legal change. It represented a transformation in Tokyo's strategic mindset. North Korea continued accelerating its missile and nuclear programs. Russia's invasion of Ukraine sent shockwaves through the global order. Meanwhile, China was rapidly altering the balance of power in East Asia. The People's Liberation Army Navy launched a new generation of warships, including the Type 055 destroyers. Each vessel carries 112 vertical launch cells capable of firing long-range anti-ship, land attack, and air defense missiles. Operating in the East China Sea and near Taiwan, these ships project Chinese power deep into the Western Pacific. For Japan, the threat was no longer remote, it was immediate. The waters around the Senkaku Islands became the front line of a new maritime contest. Tokyo faced a stark choice. Maintaining rigid restrictions risked stagnation, dependence, and irrelevance in the global defense industry. Japan chose to act. The absolute export ban was replaced with the 3 principles on defense equipment transfer. Arms exports would be permitted only under strict conditions. First, the recipient must not be under a United Nations embargo or actively engaged in conflict. Second, the transfer must contribute to international stability or enhance Japan's own security. Third, Tokyo would retain oversight of how the equipment was used and prohibit retransfer to third parties. These safeguards preserved Japan's reputation as a responsible global actor, while opening the door for its defense industry to enter the international market. Major industrial firms, long respected for precision and reliability, moved into a rapidly expanding arms sector. For allies, particularly the United States, this shift was welcomed. Japan could now help share the security burden and reinforce a Western defense network under increasing strain. The timing was deliberate. A global arms race was accelerating, and production lines in the US and Europe were overwhelmed by demand. Many middle powers could not afford high-end Western systems. Japan, with its advanced technology and stable political image, emerged as a credible and attractive alternative. Following the policy change, Japan moved quickly to expand its defense exports. Strategic partnerships soon followed, confirming Tokyo's intent to redefine its role in the Indo-Pacific security architecture. The Philippines became the first major beneficiary. Facing mounting pressure from China in the South China Sea, Manila received spare parts for US origin helicopters and 2 advanced radar systems from Japan to enhance maritime surveillance. In August 2025, Tokyo proposed transferring up to 6 Mogami-class destroyer escorts under its official security assistance program, with the Philippine Navy initially considering 3. Each vessel measures approximately 357 feet, displaces about 2,811 tons at full load, and is optimized for anti-submarine warfare and escort missions. As these ships are replaced in Japanese service by the Mogami-class, the transfer marked a symbolic milestone, demonstrating Japan's willingness to use defense capabilities as a diplomatic tool in Southeast Asia. At the same time, cooperation with India deepened rapidly. In November 2024, Tokyo and New Delhi signed a joint development agreement for the Unicorn Integrated Mast System, which consolidates multiple naval communication antennas into a single structure. Already installed on Japan's Mogami-class frigates, the system reduces radar cross-section and simplifies maintenance. Bharat Electronics Limited will manufacture the system in India, strengthening local industry and reinforcing bilateral strategic ties. Indonesia also emerged as a key prospective partner. Since April 2025, Japan and Indonesia have engaged in high-level discussions on jointly developing and producing a customized Mogami-class variant for the Indonesian Navy. The project could involve 4 to 8 ships valued at approximately $2 to $3 billion, with portions built at domestic shipyards such as PT PAL. This approach would bolster Indonesia's maritime security and expand its defense industrial capacity. Together, these initiatives signal a decisive shift. Japan is no longer solely reliant on the American security umbrella. It is positioning itself as a dependable security provider. The perception of Japan as a free rider is giving way to that of a nation equipped with advanced technology and the political resolve to actively shape regional security. Meanwhile, Australia confronted its own strategic challenges in the South Pacific. The Anzac-class frigates, which had formed the backbone of the Royal Australian Navy for decades, were in severe decline. Their weaknesses became evident during multinational exercises. In 2023's Exercise Talisman Sabre, one of the largest regional drills involving over 30,000 personnel, the Anzac fleet demonstrated clear degradation. Legacy systems struggled to integrate with modern platforms. During the same exercise, HMAS Warramunga exposed the limitations of its aging data link systems. Tragedy underscored these concerns. An MRH-90 Taipan helicopter crash near Lindeman Island claimed the lives of 4 Australian Army crew members. Though unrelated operationally, both incidents highlighted the same issue. Australia's defense forces were increasingly constrained by outdated equipment. Comprehensive inspections revealed a stark reality. The Anzac ships averaged 29 years of service, with hull fatigue cracks widespread. Radar systems logged an average of just 43 operational hours, far below NATO's benchmark of 120 hours. These vessels were no longer suited for modern warfare and increasingly hindered the Navy's combat effectiveness. Action became unavoidable. In February 2024, Australia's Defence Strategic Review set a target of expanding the surface fleet to at least 26 vessels. Plans included 3 Hobart-class air warfare destroyers, 6 Hunter-class frigates, 11 new general-purpose frigates, and 6 large unmanned surface vessels. Urgency intensified further. By 2027, the United States and United Kingdom will maintain a rotational presence of up to 4 U.S. Virginia-class and 1 UK Astute-class submarines at HMAS Stirling near Perth. Without sufficient modern escorts, these submarines would face heightened risk in the Indo-Pacific's contested environment. Selecting a new frigate was therefore not merely a replacement program, it was essential to Australia's role within AUKUS. With the Anzac fleet aging and alliance commitments increasing, Canberra launched the C-3000 program to acquire a new multi-mission frigate. 4 contenders emerged: Japan's Mogami-class, Germany's Miko at 200, South Korea's WWII-class, and Spain's Álvaro de Bazán-class. After extensive evaluations of performance, cost, and industrial cooperation, Australia made its decision. On August 5, 2025, Canberra announced that it had selected an upgraded Mogami-class variant from Mitsubishi Heavy Industries for SEA 3000. The program covers 11 ships, with 3 built in Japan and 8 constructed domestically in Australia. Valued at $10 billion Australian dollars, it represents Japan's largest defense export contract since World War II. A formal agreement is expected in early 2026. The Mogami selection was driven by multiple factors. Stealth was paramount. Unlike its competitors, the Mogami features clean, angular lines and a hull and superstructure optimized to minimize radar cross-section. Key structures, including the mast and command areas, incorporate stealth treatments. Anti-ship missiles are positioned forward of the hangar with side shrouds to further reduce detectability. During a 2023 exercise, JS Kumano reportedly approached a target undetected by opposing radar, a performance edge over South Korea's Daegu-class and Germany's Miko A-200. Firepower also played a critical role. The Australian variant will be equipped with 32 strike-length Mk-41 vertical launch cells capable of deploying quad-packed ESSM Block 2 missiles and potentially Tomahawk Block 5 cruise missiles, subject to integration. With a range approaching 995 miles, Tomahawk provides Australia with long-range strike capability. Additional deck-mounted naval strike missiles enhance anti-ship lethality. The Mogami also carries 2 quad launchers for Japan's Type 17 anti-ship missile, an improved Type 12 variant with a range of roughly 249 miles. Its guidance system combines inertial navigation, GPS, terrain matching, and terminal active radar homing, improving accuracy and resistance to electronic warfare. Compared with rivals, the advantage was clear. Germany's Miko A-200 offers only 16 Mk-41 cells, while Spain's Álvaro de Bazán provides greater capacity but lacks modern stealth shaping. South Korea's Daegu is competitively priced, but falls short in firepower and survivability. Automation further distinguished the design. The Mogami's advanced phased array radar provides full 360-degree coverage in complex combat environments. With a crew of around 90 sailors, roughly half that of an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, the ship reduces personnel costs while increasing efficiency. Competing designs require significantly larger crews. Anti-submarine warfare is another strength. The Mogami integrates bow sonar, the OQQ-25 towed array, advanced torpedoes, and ASW missiles, supported by an SH-60K helicopter. It can also deploy unmanned surface and underwater vehicles. JMSDF trials confirmed the OQQ-25's ability to detect and track submarines and coordinate multi-layered kills. Crucially, technology transfer was decisive. Japan committed to involving Australian engineers in testing and sharing shipbuilding expertise, helping Australia expand its domestic defence industry. This aligned closely with Canberra's industrial and strategic goals. Taken together, these factors secured the Mogami's victory. The decision was strategic as much as technical. It reflected confidence in Japan as a long-term security partner. For Japan, the deal marks a historic milestone, the largest defense export since World War II. It signals Tokyo's emergence from decades of self-imposed restraint. Mitsubishi Heavy Industries anticipates continuous production through 2034, providing stable revenue and enabling industrial expansion. Meanwhile, Japan's Ministry of Defense is reallocating resources toward hypersonic missile development to enhance strategic deterrence. For Australia, the contract accelerates naval modernization and strengthens AUKUS integration. When the first Mogami-class frigates enter service around 2030, they will operate alongside U.S. Virginia-class submarines and unmanned platforms, forming a new model of combined naval operations. Technology transfer and workforce training will elevate Australia's defense industrial base, creating jobs, improving skills, and delivering long-term economic benefits. Strategically, Australia's choice sends a powerful signal. It deepens trilateral coordination with Japan and the United States, and elevates Tokyo's role in Indo-Pacific security. Japan is no longer merely protected, it is protecting others. Japan is rising again, not as an aggressor, but as a guardian of peace. The final question remains, is the world prepared for a Japan that is powerful not only in principle, but also in arms?